on the air live from Rosemont, Illinois in the Dome out here for a little bit more of the winter 16-inch session. So we got a nice little ball game here. Very young upcoming future team playing Hexx, one of our major clubs. And Hexx did win the toss. They will be the home team. And we do got a double header for you. After this, we're going to follow Hexx down to field 2 where they're going to play Flashline, which is a combination team between Moneyline and Flashback. So that should be a little entertaining. That should be entertaining as well. So for those of you tuning in for the first time, what you're about to see is Chicago 16-inch style softball, and you're seeing it correct. No mitts, 99% of what we do. It's a 16-inch clincher. It is not a mush ball. So here's Joey Kutnick leading off here for Future. And he swings and he drives it up the middle, knocked down by the short center, but he can't make a play, so the leadoff man is on. So Nick Casano went up the middle, just couldn't handle the hot shot by Joey Kutnick. And that's going to bring up Jack Cafaro. And one thing we've seen with Future here in the Dome is they're playing these big teams tough. They have a tendency to give up runs right away, and then they come storming back, and they've been making a game out of everything. And there's a hot one hopper, and Scahill, nice play, as he made a little pirouette there after fielding it, and threw a strike to first base. We'll see if I got my replay issues straightened out from the weekend. You can see there, nice spin and perfect throw. And that's going to bring up Anthony Stacy. And Anthony, a little flip to right. That's going to drop. Here comes Kutnick. He's going to score, and they'll just throw it into second. So Anthony Stacy has been pounding the ball here in the Dome, walks the dog down the right field line, and he puts Future ahead. Sorry, folks, trying to get the contrast a little better for you guys. So that's going to bring up again, I think they got a little mistake on the lineup card. I believe this is Bobby. And Bobby hits it hard up the middle. Nice play by Rory. They'll get one, but nothing else. So Rory Oakley, second base, going up the middle there, made a nice play there on a ball that looked like it was going to go through. And instead, it's a fielder's choice. No chance for a relay to get the left-handed hitter. And there's a swing by Sam Como, and that ball is off the fence. Bobby's going to score run number 2. So 2-0 Future here in the top of the first, as Sam Como drove that ball into left center. It did not get out. We're going to get to some of the rules in between, folks. So this is Ryan Rogers, and Ryan hits a high fly ball right on the spot is the right fielder, and he'll make that play, Mike Oliver. So 2 runs in the inning. Just got to make a quick change there. Hold on, folks. Okay. So 16-inch style softball, for those of you new. It's a 16-inch clincher. It's not soft. It's not a mush ball. 60-foot bases. You can lead off. You can't steal. 38 feet from the pitching rubber to the point of home plate. 6'12" on the arc. I believe they're playing 1-1 count here in the Dome. We use heavy bats. Can weigh up to 38 ounces, 34 inches long, 2 1/4 on a barrel. Because we're playing no glove, the pitcher gets what we call a drag step. That means he does not need to maintain contact with the rubber. He gets 1 step left, right, or back. He gets 2 fakes or hesitation. Third arm action must be to deliver the ball home. A throw or a fake towards a base where there's a runner is considered one of your fakes or hesitations. This is an all-turf field. The dimensions are not very big. It's only 210 down the line, then 235 to center, one of the smallest fields we'll play in all summer. Fence out there is about 3.5 feet high. We do see a lot of ground rule doubles. Because of the short dimensions, you only get 4 home runs. If a ball hits the roof in fair territory, it's live. It can be caught for an out before it hits the ground. If it hits the ground, it's all you can get. So you're up to speed, and here's Curtis Ostrom. Curtis, a little one hop to the shortstop throw, not in time. So Curtis Ostrom hit a little one hopper to Jeff Duckman. Jeff didn't charge it. He waited back and then kind of left his feet. Took that in the midsection. That's not how you want to play it, kids. You want to, if you can. And here comes Nick Casano, and he hits the ball into right field. Little bobble. Ostrom will get to third. Runners on the corner. Getting back to the shortstop, you don't never want to sit back, especially on turf, and get that weird bounce where you got to jump straight up in the air. Here's Al Rice. What you want to do there, if possible, is charge that. Either catch it on a fly or get it on the short hop. And Al Rice, and that ball is scraping the roof, but good job by Duckman getting out there to make the play, but Ostrom tags and scores Hexx's first run of the ball game. So that's going to bring up Mark Holstein. And again, Al Rice got tremendous power. Looked like with 2 base runners, he was looking to go deep, and Holstein, base hit, trying to go to third and getting there as Casanos, as the right fielder, fired it into the short center. He had a little trouble handling it, but Casano could not score. So here comes a courtesy runner, brings up Mikey Oliver. So runners on the corner now. Hexx trying to tie the ball game up after falling behind. And again, with the home run limitation, you don't want to hit solo shots, but if you got 2 runners on or 3, you don't mind it. So here's a 2-out walk, and Rob Scahill got plenty of pop. It wouldn't surprise me. Now, there should only be 1 out here, but if you're Rob Scahill, this is a time when it's okay to use a home run with the bases loaded. And instead, he hits a little ground ball. Nice play by the short center, but then he threw it away. 2 runs are going to score. Hustling to third is Oliver. So Scale hit a little routine ground ball. It looked like it was going to be an out. Short center made a nice job getting to the ball, but then he threw it wild. Scahill does hit left-handed, but he had some more time, and here's Greco. Runners on the corner, and there's a opposite field fly ball. JT Ritas will catch it and throw it in, but 4th run does score. 4-2. So Hexx coming back from that 2-run deficit, and now they've doubled up Future. And that's going to bring up Richie Battistoni. And for some reason and there's a high fly ball going back as Redis, and right in front of the wall, he makes the catch. So we're going to head to the top of the second, 4-2. And as I was saying, for some unknown reason, it just seems like Future been giving up a lot of runs real early, really fast in the ball games, and then they tend to settle in. And last week we did a game, and they were playing the 45s, and talk about a crazy game. 45s dropped to 10 after half an inning of play. And Future came back in the bottom half of the first and scored 7. And they eventually ended up catching the 45s at 10. 45s leaked back out in front, 11-10. Future Future caught him at 11, and then in the top of the 7th, the 45s had a 12-run inning. So we are in the top of the 2nd. Thank you. And there's an opposite field swing, a little sinking line drive hit by Pat Donahoe, the leadoff man. And coming in and making the catch was Curtis Ostrom. Curtis in his 30s now. Hard to believe. He may even be mid or upper 30s. And he still can scoot. And there's a fly ball in the gap by Duckman. Mikey Oliver got there. A little bit of an awkward catch, but he holds on. And that's going to bring up J.T. Redis. And I think, obviously Hexx is a major level ball club. And I think they're going to be pretty good. I think the Sauce guys they picked up are really going to help them. And Redis continues to pound the ball in the dome as he drives a base hit. Brings up Bryce Pragovic. Bryce. 86. Man. And there's a little soft liner, Greco with the catch, and that'll be the 3rd out. Man, 1986, I was in my 2nd year of law school. That's how old I am. So anyways, they failed to score. We'll head to the bottom of the 2nd. Same score, 4-2. So we're glad we joined you. If you didn't see any of the games, we had a few games last week. We showed you 4 from the Dome. And again, if it seems like we're showing a lot of the same teams over and over again, there's really only, I believe, 8 teams in this league. So you get a lot of recycle. But we were out at Richie Arico's co-ed 16-inch, which was a nice day until we got late around 5 o'clock. It really cooled off down there. But it was a great day. We had a lot of fun talking to all the co-ed teams out there. And we also did an interview with Jerry Brown, who interviewed yours truly. And here's Nick Kimmer leading off. And there's a swing and a little flare, and it just drops fair. So Nick cutting that left field line. I don't know if he quite meant to cut it like that, but it was effective. And Jerry Brown interviewed me. I don't know if it was any good. And then, of course, late Friday at 11 and 12:15, we had the intentional sports, little ground ball, and safe at first. So Brian Sloan hits into a fielder's choice, and it brings up Rory Ocrae. So we showed you the semifinal and championship game out there. So we're in full swing with the action. Next week, I believe the playoffs start out here. So, and there's a walk, put another runner on base. And now they're to their young center fielder, Brendan. Could be Brandon. I'm not sure. Let me ask Carbs. Carbs. Joey Carbs. Is this Brendan or Brandon? Brandon? So Brandon, a little fly ball dropped by the center fielder. Sloan is going to score. Ocrae will go to third. So little fly ball, center fielder got there and dropped it. Joey Kutnick. We don't see Joey drop too many balls. And now they're back to their top with Curtis Ostrom. Runners on the corner. It seems like Hexx has had runners on the corner the whole game. And Ostrom with a humpback. Another run scores. And Brandon will stop at second, 6-2. So here comes Nick Casanos. So I believe next week out here will be the playoffs. So that should be interesting. Pickoff, he threw it into center. So that should be interesting. And then some of the leagues are going to start opening up that last week in April. So there's a little fly ball the other way, caught by the left fielder, long throw to third. No chance. They throw back, and Curtis just slides under. So that's going to bring up Al Rice. So once the league starts, of course, we'll be back outdoors and we'll be kind of moving around a little bit. Melrose Park has a Monday night AB league, and Al Rice drives it center fielder with a basket catch, and that ball was hit hard enough to go. Al just got a little too much top hand, and that ball humped on him a little bit. Didn't quite get up, but it certainly was hit hard enough to get out. So as we head to the top of the third, 6-2, Hexx. And again, this future team, I think on the A level, they're going to be a problem. I think they got some nice young hitters on this team. These guys are all former hardball guys, and I think the big question has always been attendance. And one of the first tournaments that they ever played 16-inch, they won the SSA Class B Playing for Peace National Championship. So that's pretty good. So here comes the extra hitter, Armando Lara. They wrote it like it was all one word. I assume it's Armando, last name Lara. And then they'll be back to the top, and Joey Kutnick. And there's a high fly ball. Curtis, easy play, snaps it up for out number one. So back to Joey Kutnick, and then it'll be Jack Cafaro. If either of these two guys get on, we'll see Anthony Stacy. And Anthony, the last time we did a future game, he left the yard twice. So if the two rabbits can get on, I'm pretty sure that's what he'll have in mind. Leads do tend to evaporate in this dome. And there's a bullet, but just foul down that line. If anybody's on Facebook, drop me a chat, say hello. Always want to make sure all of our chat functions are working. So we had a real busy week. A lot of video for you guys. And of course we had pictures of Intentional Sport Champs 40 Deuce, MVP Chris Harris, and then we took a joint picture of Hot Stuff and the Fat Kids as they had co-champions out there due to the cold weather. And there's a swing and a base hit, and the slide at second, not in time. So Joey Kutnick, and I tell you, this Kutnick, every time I see him, the kid's getting on base. You can see there, just a beautiful stroke. Good wheels, easily underneath the tag. And there's a little ground ball by Cafano.
Go, Stacey!
Thanks, Carly. I know it's working on YouTube. I just don't know if it's working on Facebook. So if anybody's watching it on Facebook, or if you got YouTube, pop over there and tell me. And here's a ground ball, and Stacy's retired. So Can't do nothing here in the top of the third. We're going to head to the bottom of the third. Still 6-2. So it should be up and running, I would assume. So anyways, we're going to head to the bottom of the third. So far, Hexx leading in this one. And I think the nightcap has got the potential to be a pretty good ball game between Flashline and Hexx. I'm looking down at the other diamond. That game started a little earlier. And that's March and Flashline down there. Right now, it looks like it's a close ball game at 3-3. That game is an inning ahead. Here's Mark Holstein. So it was a little weird getting to the dome and it still being sunny out. And there's a ground ball knocked down by Stacy. Nice play. That was kind of self-defense, I think. As you can see, Holstein hit a line drive right back at Stacy, about head high almost. And he made the nice play. So here's Mikey Oliver. And Mikey slashes one, diving stop by Duckman. From the seat of his pants, couldn't get him. He made it close. Oliver can run. But what a catch there, spectacular. As he laid out and just couldn't get enough on it. So that'll bring up Scahill. He goes for it. Towering fly ball, did not hit the roof. And that'll be an out. Oh, man. I don't know why that would happen. It should have. And that's going to bring up Greco, and he launches one. And that ball's going to be a ground rule double. Yeah, Carly, I noticed that it said there was some kind of an error connecting. Now it says it's streaming. There's a high fly ball, and that's going to be caught to end the inning. So Battistoni flies out to end the inning, and we're going to head to the top of the fourth. So something must have occurred. Some problem must have occurred when we launched the live stream with Facebook. Don't know what that would have been. So we'll have to direct everybody over to our YouTube page later to see the entire ball game, as they'll be picking up the game in the fourth inning. Don't know what that would have been. Very strange. This Facebook's driving me insane. So here comes Bobby, the third baseman. He'll be followed by Sam Como and Ryan Rogers. Still a 6-2 ball game. Carly, check that again and tell me if it's streaming there. It's telling me it is. So that was a bold take there by Bobby with 2 strikes. And there's a high fly ball coming in as the center fielder, Brandon, and he makes the catch for out number 1. Yeah, sorry about that, Amalia. You know, for some reason, thanks to Carly, figured out that for some reason it didn't go live right away, and we're picking this game up in the 4th inning. Those of you who may want to start from scratch, little ground ball over to Nick Kimmer, and he bobbles it.
Way to run, Sam.
And Sam Comel is on. So, Malia, if you want to watch the game from the very beginning, you can go to YouTube and search SSA Broadcast, and it should be live on YouTube. But if you want to stay on Facebook and just circle back later, you could do that too. Here's Pat Donahoe, as we will have a doubleheader, and there's a long one down the line, caught by Mikey Oliver, and he throws it in. So we're getting close to the halfway point here. And a little uncharacteristic, here's Jeff Duckman, the shortstop. A little uncharacteristic of this future team is they're not stinging the ball here tonight. They only got 2 runs so far. So not quite sure why it didn't launch on that Facebook channel. We had no issues over the weekend, and I did everything exactly like I did. So I'm not quite sure why it didn't load on Facebook. And the runner goes with 2 outs. Line drive caught by Nick at center as he got up in the air and made the catch for out number 3. So he timed it perfectly, and he made the catch to end the inning. So nicely done. Boy, still off on my replays. So I'm not sure why. I just can't seem to get the timing right. So halfway through, 6-2. So it's going to be Nick Kimmer, Brian Sloan, and Rory Okray. So, Carly, what did you think of Richie Orico's first co-ed 16-inch tournament? I'd like to get a little feedback. I'll pass it on to Richie next time I talk to him. So as we head to this bottom of the 4th, Hexx in charge so far, and there's a little ground ball, little pitch and catch. And brings up Brian Sloan. So for those of you checking us out on Facebook, a little public service announcement. For some reason, the game did not load, and there's a base hit as Brian Sloan just throws it out toward right center. Did not launch with the rest of our socials. Had to go back in there and shut it off and turn it back on. And now it's working. So a little glitch there. So here's Rory Okray, 1 out, 1 on. Rory trying to go opposite field. Second baseman, very loud there, came over and made the catch. Pat Donahoe, the second baseman. And that's what you want to see, because there were 3 people all converging. That's a tough play for a first baseman because of the angle. The right fielder's running and his head's bouncing up and down. And the second baseman's got the shortest, best angled route to it. And here's a swing and a humpback caught by Redis in the outfield for the 3rd out. So it looked like that was a pinch hitter for Brandon. And looking ahead to the bottom of the 5th, Hexx will have the top of their lineup coming up. Well, I think part of the problem is Carly. I think part of the problem when you run a one-day tournament, even though it's a one-on-one count, everybody wants to kind of they want to be hopeful that it's going to be on the hour, and it's almost impossible. Now they were only an hour behind, which was pretty good, and I think the reason was a lot of those games weren't necessarily extremely high scoring. So here's Jeff Duckman leading off. So that kind of pushes things off a little bit. At one point, they might have been a little bit more than an hour behind on one of the diamonds, but they kind of caught up. But I thought Richie did a good job for his first time out. And Duckman swings and right at Oliver. So put a good pass on it, just hit it right to Oliver. And here's JT Redis. So yeah, I thought he did a nice job. And I do have to say, I always enjoy seeing the co-ed teams. So Carly, let me ask you another question. Would you rather play, and Redis stays red hot. I'll tell you, the last couple of games I've done, he's got to have 6 or 7 hits. So that's Bryce Pragovich coming up now. So 1 out, 1 on here. Would you rather play 14-inch mush or the 16-inch with that clincher? See JT being very aggressive here with his secondary. And there's a little pop-up on the infield. Nick Kimmer makes the catch. So here comes Armando Lara. So with 2 outs, JT will be running on the swing. And Armando drives it to center. JT going to make it to third. Brandon gets it in quick, and they'll keep him at third. So runners on the corner now for Joey Kutnick. So a couple of hits here, and Future could really change the dynamic of the ball game. And Krutnik dumps it into right field. 1 run is in. Armando's going to get into third, second and third. 6-3. Kutnick comes through. And now this is a big hitter here, Jack Cafaro, because you got Anthony Stacy with big pop on deck. So you'd like to get Anthony up with maybe a couple of So I guess your opinions are 16 all day, every day, and twice on Sunday. So here comes Jack Cafaro. And Jack a little nibbler, and there's Nick Casano making the play, so they get out of it with only 1 run. Big out there for Brian Sloan and Hexx, as I don't think they wanted necessarily to see Anthony Stacy come up, because Anthony has shown you he can leave the yard here just about any time he wants. So we head to the bottom of the 4th, top of the Hexx lineup coming up. Yeah, I got to tell you, if I could transition all 36,000 plus of our followers over to YouTube, that seems to have been less problematic for us. But we have so many followers on Facebook that are a little on the older side, and you know, they're okay getting onto Facebook, but getting everybody over to YouTube, I don't know. So here comes Curtis Ostrom, Nick Casano on deck, and then Al Rice, and there's another base hit for Curtis. JT, a little bobble, and Curtis, who can fly, slides in. So here's Nick Casanos. And there's a little hard ground ball to third. He looks him back, snaps off a throw. And they get the first out, and Curtis has to wait. That's a good job there by the third baseman, Bobby. Sometimes guys will look a guy back, and then they won't make a good, hard, firm throw, and that allows the runner to go. But he made sure Curtis was moving backwards, and then he snapped off a hard throw. And Al trying to go big, that's going to stay in the park, and JT will catch it, and Curtis is going to wait. He's going to score on a single, so he's not in a hurry to get the third. And here's Holstein. And you see there Anthony Stacy. And Mark tries to go opposite field, but he pops it up. So, like we said, Future has that tendency to give up runs early in the ball game, and they did again today. Fell behind, gave up that 6, but as we head to the 6, they've kept the score really from advancing, and they find themselves only 3 runs down here. So that's why I said this Future team is pretty resilient. And it's just a question if they're going to get their guys out. Now, Anthony Stacy plays with Flashback. I had not heard him leaving, so he's just good friends with these guys, and he's moonlighting. So I'm not sure who's going to pitch for him outside, but and Anthony just sits back and he dumps a hit. Curtis had to jump up in the air to keep it from going over his head. So here's Bobby. Sam Como on deck. So these are what we call the road graders. The guys that are here to maul the ball. And there he just kind of popped it up. Casanos goes back. He was tippy-toeing. That's kind of a tough catch. It's a nice catch. But Brandon, a very young center fielder, needs to take control there and call Nick off and make it a little easier. So here's Sam Como. And Sam looked like he was maybe going to go to right field. They're playing him plenty deep all the way around. And there he rockets one, and it goes off of Casanos. Everybody's going to be safe. Little humpback up the middle. And Nick was kind of right, literally almost on the bag there. And as a short center, anything that gets hit up the middle like that, you want to make a conscious effort to get in front of the base, because that base will wreak havoc with you. And there's a ground ball up the middle. Casanos steps and throws in time for the double play. And they're out of the inning. So Nick, very nice job there. He's got a hard ground ball up the middle. Good job by Greco at first, staying on that bag. And Greco's he's a good young first baseman. There's no doubt about that. So we head to the bottom of the 6th, still 6-3. And down on the other diamond, it looks like it's 8-3 down there now. Not sure who's winning. I don't know who's home, who the guest is, but the guest is winning 8-3 down there. Joe Polito, if you got our game on and you're watching the Flashline game with March, jump in and let me know. So it's going to be Mikey Oliver Rob Scahill and Greco. Nobody's hit a home run yet. Both teams still got their full allotment of 4. We're at that time of the game now where they don't do you any good. And little sinking line drive. It looked like the short center, excuse me, Carfano was going to make the play. And he's saying that the ball was kind of knuckling on him. And it dove right at the end, and I think that hit him either low abdomen or upper thighs. But it was awful close to a tender spot. So here's Scahill. And Rob sits back and drives a hit, and it bounces over to right fielder. Mike Oliver is going to score. So big gratuitous hop there off the turf. It was going to be second and third, but with the high bounce, that allowed Oliver to score from first. It brings up Greco with Richie Battistoni on deck. And there's a high fly ball. Center fielder Kutnick puts it away. And Scahill moves pretty good. Gets into third easily. So 1 out now, runner on third. Easy opportunity for an RBI here for Richie Battistoni, and he drives it. Redis in front of the fence makes the catch, but it does get the 8th run in. So Richie went for it, didn't quite get a hold of it.
Hey, start it up again, let's go.
But he does drive in another run. Eight to 6, or 8-3, excuse me. We are in the 6th. And Kimmer beats it on the ground. Stacy makes the play. So do or die 7th for the Future Club as they trail by 5. They'll need 5 just to keep the game going, 6 to take a lead, anything less. And Hexx will be victorious. And will get an opportunity to hopefully try to get themselves 2 wins tonight. So here comes Future. And again, you're down 5 here. There's no thought process. Well, the other game will be here on Facebook. Hopefully, Facebook's going to launch, and there's a sinking line drive, leadoff man on. So Pat Donahoe leads off, and it brings up Jeff Duckman. So hopefully it'll be right here on Facebook. It'll start maybe 10 minutes after this game is concluded, as Hexx will need to walk down to the other diamond. And they usually give the players a little bit of time to use the restroom or whatever. And there's a swing, but right at Oliver, and he throws it in. Brings up Redis. But of course, we try to stream these games to all of our social media sites. So they're usually here on Facebook. They're also generally will be on our YouTube channel. And Casanos, another double play, and that'll do it. So Hexx, a winner here. We show you they get their second double play of the ball game. And that ends the ball game. Bang, bang there. You guys can go back and check it out. So we're going to sign off. We're going to go. But if you go to X and you search at SSA Softball. The games are usually broadcast there. They're broadcast on our YouTube channel, which is SSA Broadcast. So if you go to YouTube and search that, and of course here on Facebook. So don't know why it didn't launch, but we'll make sure it launches before the next game starts. So on behalf of SSA, we'll be back in about 10 minutes, maybe a little bit more, give or take, for game number 2. Thanks for tuning in.